Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, bringing to you confirmed news about a number of football players like Romelu Lukaku. We're also talking about Moises Kaisado. We're talking about Angelo Gabriel. We're also talking about possibility of Neymar joining the club Chelsea. Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to as long as this sports and as long as it is Chelsea related right about here at the Chelsea chapter with me, your very host Abu KALS, as I'm definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest trade as it comes in. We'll be remembered that the club Chelsea is looking at reinforcement in different fields, and one of the fields being the forward section. Still already some football players are already in the midfield section also, plus the goalkeeping section, the defense, almost everywhere. The club Chelsea is looking at reinforcement. A number of football players have already been in. Football players like Nicholas Jackson, football players like Christopher Nkunku, and the latest signing of Chelsea being the one and only Angelo Gabriel, who is a very good football player who comes to the club Chelsea from Santos, where he's been playing quite well for Santos, and he's made over 150 appearances at a tender age, 18 years of age. Actually, Chelsea is trying to build something that is quite great, something of the future really, and we hope that it won't take long until Chelsea really gets back to winning ways. Anyway, let's get the party started. Let's start with Lukaku. What's happening with Romelu Lukaku? So, you will remember that Lukaku has been a Chelsea football player for 2 years. And in those 2 years, a lot has definitely happened. In those 2 years, Lukaku, who is a very good football player really, but he's not really performed in the Premier League. He's had sort of a bad time in the Premier League. And he was loaned to Inter Milan. You will remember that Inter Milan sold Lukaku to the club Chelsea for around £90 million, to be specific, £94.7 million. And that was quite a lot of money, but he was playing very well there, and the club Chelsea really thought, oh, he's a very good player. When it comes to the Premier League, really, he will perform brilliantly. But when he came to the Premier League, when he came to Chelsea, it did not go as planned. And then he did not play quite well for the club Chelsea. And he was loaned and moved to Inter Milan. And when he's been at Inter Milan, Lukaku has been playing very well. Undoubtedly, he's been one of the best strikers for Inter Milan. And the Italy side, when you look at the Italy league, when you look at Serie A, really, he's performed quite well in there. For Inter Milan, he's been really an amazing talent. And right about now, the latest that we are getting about Lukaku, we've got quite great news. However, before I give you that great news, it will be remembered that Juventus really had something to say about the football player. Juventus wanted the football player. Juventus wanted Romelu Lukaku to make sure he plays for them. And there was quite a bit of a struggle between Juventus and Inter Milan. And Inter Milan really had to walk away out of this transfer. Inter Milan walked away off the transfer because Lukaku was looking at staying at Inter Milan, but it is reportedly said that Lukaku's agents were secretly talking to Inter Milan management to see if there is a possible move over there, because Juventus, because Juventus really was interested, or is still interested, and from sources that we are getting, that they are leading the transfer right about now as it stands. But still, the latest information I'm getting says otherwise. Anyway, so there's been a bit of a fight between Inter Milan and Juventus for the football player Lukaku. And I must say, Lukaku must be a very good football player, really, because when you see the clubs that are interested in him, really, you can definitely tell that he is a very good football player. And he's also turned down a move to the Saudi Arabian clubs, really. The Saudi Pro League was interested in the football player, but the football player was not very much into moving to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is one of those countries, really, that is getting big football players, but mainly football players that are at the end of their career. And looking at how things are really going for the football player, I think everything is really moving on quite well and as planned for the football player, really. Romelu Lukaku, because he's enjoying the stardom, really. He's really enjoying whatever is being done. He's just sat there looking. But despite the fact that he said no to Saudi clubs, he said he still thinks he still got it. He can score a number of goals. The world still needs him. So he's not looking at going to Saudi Arabia, despite the fact that some clubs in the Saudi Pro League were very interested in him, interested in signing him. He said no to them, and a big no. He's only going to, if he doesn't remain in Premier League, he would go back to Europe, but not Saudi Arabia. Anyway, that's not the main thing. The big reason that we are here to talk about Romelu Lukaku is that we got information that Romelu Lukaku was in a personal training in Inter Milan, actually in Italy. He was enjoying his personal training, was doing personal training, thinking that definitely things will be rolling on quite well for him, and he will make a move to either Juventus or he will be at Inter Milan. But by the look of things, Mauricio Pochettino has the football player in his plans. By the look of things, Mauricio Pochettino, the current manager of Chelsea, has plans for Lukaku, and it is reportedly said that the 2023 international tour for the club Chelsea, all right, the US tour, really, Chelsea's not going to be Chelsea's not going to be having Romelu Lukaku in this tour. But what we definitely have for a fact is that Mauricio Pochettino and the current management at the club Chelsea, at the club Chelsea, I need to put this here, Mauricio Pochettino and the management at Chelsea have come out really and written a big letter to Romelu Lukaku, instructing him. You need to understand this. It's an instruction that is being dished out. It's not. It's actually not a wish or anything like that. It's an instruction. It's not a request. It's not a wish. Because Romelu Lukaku is still in capital letters a Chelsea football player, and Chelsea have a big say on Romelu Lukaku's future. And Mauricio Pochettino and the staff at the club Chelsea have written a big letter to Romelu Lukaku to instruct him to return to the club Chelsea with immediate effect, and we are going to be seeing the return of the football player Romelu Lukaku. And if Lukaku really is to play for the club Chelsea, really, if he definitely is chosen to be one of the football players that are going to help Chelsea get back its glory days, then I'll definitely be here to give it to you straight as it comes in. So we are waiting for Lukaku to rejoin the club Chelsea, as we definitely know that things are rolling on quite well, as Lukaku is also very interested in making a move, really, getting fast team football. I don't know whether if he comes to the club Chelsea, he will get fast team football, but I think it would be a big problem if you do not put him, if you sign him, if you keep him and don't give him fast team football. But he's a very good one, really, I must say. He's played for a number of clubs. When he was at Manchester United, really, he had some good time at Manchester United, though his biggest potential really is in Europe. But we know that the football manager Mauricio Pochettino is well known for changing football players, and definitely he could change him for the better, and he could be scoring a number of goals. Chelsea really has quite a big number of young football players, and an older squad really can also do quite good for the club Chelsea, as we definitely know that the squad needs a few experienced football players, older football players. So let's really hope everything will go on quite well for the club Chelsea, as Romelu Lukaku could be making a magic return. Anyway, having said that, there are quite more football players really to talk about, and we can also talk about Who else is in the corner? Big number. There is Angelo Gabriel. Angelo Gabriel, who's a very young football player, is actually one of the most talented Brazilian superstars. The Brazilian young kid was definitely signed by the club Chelsea. Chelsea confirmed that they have officially signed Angelo Gabriel from Santos. And it is reportedly said that deals were really agreed some time ago. It was just a matter of time for him to join the club, and definitely we are seeing it come true, or we've seen it come true, as he already has also agreed the move. Everything is done, medical schedule, everything is done. He's officially, even on the websites of the club Chelsea, officially, really, he is a football player for the club Chelsea. Anyway, I think that was quite good news. That's been quite good news. And also, not forgetting that there are yet other football players that we're going to be talking about. We've got Neymar to talk about, and I think Neymar, yeah, I think Neymar is a very good one, I must say. I think Neymar is a very good football player, and he's been linked to the club Chelsea, him moving to the club Chelsea, because they've got quite big links with Mauricio Pochettino, and Mauricio Pochettino looking at reinforcement, really bringing in more football players. As you already know, a big squad, a big number in the Chelsea squad left the club, and one of those football players that left the squad really was N'Golo Kante. We've got quite a lot have left, and we're going to be seeing more football players really coming back to the club Chelsea. Not really coming back, but being signed by the club Chelsea. You can let us know what you definitely think about this reinforcement. I think it's something that it was needed, because how Chelsea really performed last time, it wasn't the best of positions for the club Chelsea. We've talked about Angelo Gabriel. Whom else have we talked about? We've also talked about Romelu Lukaku, and we've talked about Romelu Lukaku, Angelo Gabriel. Whom else? We've talked about Neymar. Yeah. Who else is in there to talk about? Neymar should be four. Neymar, that's one. Angelo Gabriel, that's two. Oh, then we've got Moises Kaisado to talk about, the last man of the transfer show. Anyway, let's talk about Moises Kaisado. You all remember that Moises Kaisado is an Ecuadorian professional football player who's been playing for Brighton and Hove. And at Brighton and Hove, really, he's played quite well. In Brighton and Hove recently slapped a £100 million transfer fee on any football club that is going to be taking the football player. And it is said that the club Chelsea really is very interested in him, and this transfer is in its final stages. It's quite good news that the transfer is in its final stages, because when you look at how really he plays, he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League, with clubs like Manchester United, clubs like Arsenal interested in him. All of them have been kicked out of this transfer, and it has remained one-on-one for the football player. It's a football player, actually three parties involved now. It's the football players, Brighton and Hove, Moises Kaisado, Brighton and Hove in the club Chelsea, and definitely it's going to be signed. Really, pen is going to be put to paper anytime from now. I think he might be the best signing that Chelsea could really have this season. Really, Moises Kaisado is a very wonderful talent, a very good talent, and the fact that he is still very young, he's got quite a bit of time written to his name. We could probably be seeing him excelling at the club Chelsea. Let us know what you definitely think in the comment section about Moises Kaisado and him joining the club Chelsea. But I personally think he's going to be a big signing. He's going to be a very good signing for the club Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea can do anything more about this transfer. because they have already done whatever it takes, and it's now up to the club Brighton and Hove to accept the offer or deny the offer. But £100 million really is something that is quite a lot. There's been quite a bit of negotiations for the price. Anyway, thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related, right about here at the Chelsea chapter with me, your very host, Abu KALS. As I tell, thank you and goodbye for now.